Right. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another amazing episode of LaQuita's Toolbox Live. I am your host, LaQuita Mondley, and I am very excited today to have in the studio with me a very amazing guest, Miss Shinia Lambert, and she's going to be dropping some knowledge on us today. So you guys take a moment, if you will, get something to write with and something to write on, because you don't want to miss these amazing tools that she's going to bless us with today on this live episode of LaQuita's Toolbox Live. So also, those of you that are watching us across the various social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, thank you guys so much for joining us. And please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if this is your first time joining me. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be able to bless you with some tools that will help you grow as entrepreneurs, as well as tools that you can use for your own personal growth and development. And for those of you, Twitch is a brand new platform for us today. So thank you so much. Those are watching us across Twitch and on Roku TV. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't hesitate to get in the comment sections if you're on the social media platforms. Let us know what you're thinking. We're open to answering questions, and we really like your engagement and your feedback on some of the topics that we're going to discuss today. And also, I'd like to take a moment just to thank our sponsors at Covenant Press. Covenant Press is a faith-based Christian apparel and accessory online shop where we as believers are able to wear the message of Jesus Christ. If you want to know more about Covenant Press, go out to www.covenant-press.com. Again, that's www.covenant-press.com and see all of the wonderful things that they have to offer there for you. So again, thank you so much for Covenant Press for being the sponsors of LaQuita's Toolbox Live, as well as LaQuita's Toolbox, the podcast. But without further ado, let's jump into today's conversation. And Ms. Shinia, would you please just take a moment and introduce yourself to the LaQuita's Toolbox audience?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching and engaging. So you are free to call me Shy. That's how my business partner has nicknamed me, and I've become used to it. I am a jack of all trades in a sense. I'm a writer. I'm a speaker. I'm a podcast creator. I'm an attorney. I'm a mother. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm kind of a little bit of everything. But today, my major role, I would say, is probably as an attorney that I've been practicing, 15 years now. And so, oh God, time goes by so fast. So 15 years now, kind of dipping and dabbing in a little bit of different practice areas. I have some background in labor and unemployment law, family law. Now I'm in business law. We help nonprofits, entrepreneurs, churches, and now we're kind of branching out into estate planning, helping people prepare to leave a legacy for their businesses or their families, and that's really important to us. So. At Jackson Todd Lambert, I have a beautiful business partner, Ebony Todd. If you go to any of my social media, you'll see her all over there. And yeah, we just have a passion for really helping people live their best possible life, including being entrepreneurs.
That is so awesome. You guys are truly a definition of Black Girls Rock.
Thank you.
I remember my first time meeting you. A really good friend of mine actually said, hey, you need to go have a conversation with these ladies. And they were able to help us in so many different ways with a lot of the things, especially. And in this particular conversation, we were talking about churches, and, lots of churches probably don't realize how much they need to have some really good attorneys on their teams to ensure that that they are protecting themselves and that they are building their structure in the right manner. And that's the conversation that she and I were having. And that when we spoke with you, I was like, wow, this is a whole lot more than what we initially thought. And you guys have some great programs there. At least at that time, we had some really great programs in place to help the small business owner, one, understand what we need, and two, be able to utilize your services in a way that we can afford in order to get quality legal counsel for the things that we need. If you don't mind, just if you can just give us a little bit more information about that, because we do have uh, all types of entrepreneurs that are watching today that may be in need of some legal services, or not, or no, say, hey, I'm fine now. Why do I need to have an attorney?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to do that. So, one of the main tenets of Jackson Todd and Lambert is what we like to call preventative law. We believe in helping to educate the entrepreneur or church ministry leader or nonprofit about how to protect themselves so that you don't have to worry about these hiccups coming down the road and disrupting your business, your calling, your ministry. So, one of the ways that we do that are the same ways that you see these Fortune 500 companies do it. They have in-house legal counsel, right? That frees them up to be creators, to focus on their product or their service or their program without having to worry about, what does this contract say? Is this the right vendor to partner with? Am I filing the right documents, right? They have someone that they send that to, which frees them up to focus on what they want to be focusing on, which is making money, providing quality services, whatever it may be. And so we do that on a smaller scale for the everyone from the sole proprietor to the small business owner. It's a program that allows us to cater to you what you need. There are different tiers to the general counsel programs. And so if you have just a few basic needs like contract review or drafting, if you need help with forming your business or amending your current formation documents, we can help with that. All the way up to the highest tier where you have unlimited document review, unlimited drafting, and you can pay an annual plan, monthly, or quarterly, whatever works best for your finances. And it really allows you to, again, as a small business owner, focus on the product, the program, or the service that you're offering to your clients without having to wonder, am I doing this the right way? Right? Because fear can cause us to withhold our giftedness. If we're afraid of messing up, it'll make us timid about stepping out there. And too many of us have a gift that the world needs. And I don't want to see that withheld because you're afraid that you don't know how to read a contract. Let me do that, right? That's my job. And I take joy in doing that. I want to see people, again, living their best entrepreneurial lives. And so those are the types of programs that we offer. Now, maybe you're saying, hey, Shinia, we're just starting out and I don't have a lot of money to throw at legal services. We can do, kind of a la carte. Maybe you just need one document draft, one document review. Maybe you just need help forming the business and you feel fairly confident you can take it from there. We can work out those types of services too. So we really do try to find something that caters to everyone.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, you have the different packages that you have, and then you also have the ability to provide your clients with the a la carte services. And like I said, you guys are definitely the definition of Black Girls Rock, and helping entrepreneurs locally here in our city or throughout the state of Texas, with making sure that they are doing business and doing business in a way that they are protected. Can you give us an example or share a story about the hows and the whys behind your passion for bringing these types of services to the small business owner?
So it was really important for me. So when I graduated from law school, went straight into state service. So I worked for the government for the state of Texas in two different capacities. One as an appellate level judge for the Texas Workforce Commission, and then as an assistant attorney general for the Office of the Attorney General. And so on that side of the game, we didn't get to see a lot of small business or entrepreneurial. It was basically focused around government services. As God was leading me into a new season to be a small business owner myself, I realized how much we would have wished we had a mentor, someone to walk us through those stages, someone who was willing to say, hey, these are some mistakes that I made. Let me help you so you don't have to make those same mistakes. And it was few and far between. Large firms had that. But when you had a small firm, especially a Black-owned firm, especially a Black female-owned firm, right? Yeah. No one was willing to step out and say, hey, we'll hold your hand and we'll help you. And we realized we have something special to give. Yes. And if we aren't bold enough to step out here and do it, this would be enough to maybe sway us. And so we thought, we don't want other people to have to worry about that. We really wanted small businesses to have access to the same quality of services that they would have if they worked at Google or Apple or any of these larger companies. And so that's where our passion came from, wanting to be what we wish we would have had when we were starting out.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You pointed out some really key things there. Small business owners don't always have that privilege of being able to partner with an amazing law firm, especially as, you know, right now, African American women are leading the way in terms of obtaining higher education degrees from masters to PhDs. And we're also rapidly growing as entrepreneurs, but we're also not being able to have access, ironically, to the type of funding, legal care, and other things that we need in order to come out the gate in a successful way. And I love the fact that when you were describing your passion, you said that you lack the mentorship, but now based on what you do, you're able to provide that type of mentorship and guidance to other small businesses. And I know every day I look in the mirror, I'm Black and I am a woman. So these are the types of things that we need or that we look for, so that we can be set up for success before we get started, even after we. So let's say, you know, you have some individuals here that are saying, okay, I'm already in business. I haven't made a mistake, or maybe I did make a mistake. What should they do from that point in terms of seeking out legal care and being able to, whether they partner with you or another attorney, to bring an attorney on the team that's the right fit for them?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I say, whatever state of business that you're in, you need to know when you're ready to bring on legal counsel. Some of the questions that you want to ask yourself, one, and this is just being blunt, financially, are you prepared to bring on legal counsel? And we want to be honest about what that looks like, because just because you may not have, you know, the kind of money at your disposal that you think you need doesn't mean you can't still find quality services, again, for exactly that are catered to your specific business needs. So don't count yourself out just because you don't have, you know, tens or hundreds of thousands of money budgeted for legal services. Just be honest about what you have, because then we can work and approach what's the best plan for you. But one of the things that I think makes our firm unique, and one of the things that, I'll be honest, I don't think you can find at most firms, is that we're not just focused on getting you set up, but growth. So what's important during our consultations is to discuss, where is it that you want your business to go? And so we provide a service called vision session planning, where we just get real basic with it, right? And where do you want to see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, in a year? Or we can think bigger. Where do you want to be in a year? 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And then we set those goals out, and we create an accountability partnership program where this is what you need to do to get there. And then this is what we're going to do to get you there. So every 30 days, we're on the phone. Hey, did you do A, B, and C? Because that's what you said you wanted to get there, right? We've done our part, right? Because that's what we're committing to do. Have you done your part? And it really is an accountability program, because if that's where you want to go, we can get you there. But you've got to be committed. And that's sometimes what people need. Someone to come along beside you and say, I see your vision. That's not too far out of your reach. We can get you there. Are you ready to go? And so that's one of the things I think is really unique about us, is it kind of blends business consulting and legal services, right? So we can do the consulting part to talk about your growth, and then we have the legal know-how to get you there, right? And so that's one of the things I would really recommend, is if you already have a business, but maybe you're not seeing the growth that you want, or maybe you just want to see, well, maybe I haven't thought big enough. Where could I go? That's something that we can definitely help you with.
Wow. So your clients are not just getting a one and done. I bring you, they bring you on board. You take care of whatever the legal issue is. But I love the vision planning session, because that to me says you are taking, you've bought into that person's vision. You're helping them craft that vision. And so you've become like a partner, if you will, with them. And you're passionate and invested in seeing them succeed.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely necessary for an entrepreneur. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Well, let me take a minute. We've had a couple of just comments drop in here across some of the social media platforms. Delphina, thank you so much for joining us there on LinkedIn. I know Sis is out of South Africa. We appreciate you for coming into the room today. Thank you there on LinkedIn as well, Mr. Lawrence Drone. We appreciate you for joining us today, sir. Miss Regina Hutchins on Facebook. Thank you so much, sis, for joining us. We appreciate you. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And again, those of you that are watching now will be watching in the replay. Hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons. We want to know what you think about the conversation we're having. We want to know any questions that you may have. So don't hesitate to put those in the comment feeds. And just continue to enjoy this episode of LaQuita's Toolbox Live. And I'd also like to take just one brief moment to thank one of our other sponsors of LaQuita's, this particular episode of LaQuita's Toolbox Live, that is Evolving Eve Services. Evolving Eve Services is a credit consultation service that is located right here in Killeen, Texas. They're having this amazing event coming up on March the 5th. At the Killeen Civic and Conference Center called Headshot and Mimosas. They're in partnership with local businesses 3/3 Beauty as well as I Am King Entertainment. Killeen businesses, you want to go out to either of those social media platforms, I Am King Entertainment, Evolving Eve, or 3/3 Beauty. Get their link for the Eventbrite. Headshot and Mimosas is amazing. If you're a small business owner and you're in need of marketing and branding material, your photos are necessary. And also, if you're in need of a 30-second commercial for anything that you're doing branding and marketing wise, you can get that at Headshots and Mimosas this coming in March the 5th. And it will be located at the Killeen Civic and Conference Center. To know more information, go out to their social medias, hit that Eventbrite link, and get registered for this amazing event. Again, thank you guys so much there for being sponsors of this episode of LaQuita's Toolbox Live. So, Miss Shinia, I don't want to limit the conversation we're having on your passion about legal services and the legal services that we need to look for as small business owners. So I want to ask you one more question, but I want to dive into your podcast.
Okay.
I want to dive into your podcast. I want to dive into your book. So I want to make sure I save time for that. But those that are watching that, they're just getting started and maybe they're in that stuck place where I know I was when I first got started as a real estate investor. I took all these classes and they kept stressing the importance of having the right contracts, the right legal services, and we're stuck in fear. And so for like a year, I wouldn't move forward because I was stuck in fear of getting in trouble for doing something wrong or not having the right contract. Can you speak to those individuals that may find themselves stuck and afraid to move forward on how to push forward and what to look for? Like you made mention of it earlier, you know, being realistic about what they can afford, but how can they move forward and obtaining or even knowing, okay, when do I need to bring you on? How do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for bringing me back. So when we've already talked about finances, which is a real, issue and something that you have to talk about, you also want to know that you are in control, right? So when you're talking about partnering with an attorney or a firm, you are the chooser, right? You get to choose. And so I always highly recommend having consultations with several attorneys. Even if on the first one you visit, you like them, rapport is great, visit with at least 3. And I recommend that because your business is your baby. We all know, those who are small business owners, that it is something precious to us. You wouldn't just give your child over to anyone, right? And you want to think the same way about your business. So you want to consult with people to see, not only do they have the legal knowledge, you want them to have the competence, but do they also possess the character? Is this someone that I can trust with my business? Is this someone when I call can I actually reach them? Or am I waiting days on days for them to call me back? Test these attorneys out. Ask the hard questions. If I email you or I call you, am I getting charged for every email? Am I going to be able to reach you directly, or am I going to have to go through your paralegal who may or may not pass that message along to you? How many clients are you currently representing? And not because the number of clients necessarily speaks to their competence, but how much direct interaction am I going to be able to have with you? Because you have to build that trust and you have to build that rapport. Now, we cannot let fear keep us from stepping out. So we have to start addressing those things. Where is that root of fear stemming from? Is it because I feel ill-equipped? Do I not feel confident that I know enough, right? Mm-hmm. That I can say that I have complete control and command over this area that's been entrusted to me? Or is it because maybe I just don't know enough about what I don't know? And that's why it's important to sit down and talk to someone who can help lead you along the way. And if you sit down with an attorney and you don't feel respected and you don't feel heard and you feel rushed, that's not the attorney for you. It doesn't mean it's not time to hire an attorney. It's just not time to hire that one.
Wow, that's some great wisdom there, guys. I hope you were definitely taking notes because that's important. Our businesses are our babies, mm-hmm. and the individual that we are choosing to partner with in that way, they should be able to hear us. They should hear us. They should and be able to take that time. And you brought up some really good points. I know some friends recently that had to hire an attorney, and if one firm was like, okay, I'm charging like $200 some every 15 minutes. But why we want to do that? Like, why we want to do that?
Yeah.
So you brought up some really good points, because in that instance, price doesn't always mean that they're excellent. It's just their price.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So we'll have to bring you back on again to dive into some more legal questions. But I want to know about Rooted.
Okay.
Yeah. So talk to us about your new podcast and how that all came to be, and where can we connect with you and listen to your new podcast?
Absolutely. So Rooted grew during the pandemic as a lot of ideas grew. Rooted grew as a result of me confronting this issue where, a lot of us weren't able to go to a physical church. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us as believers during this period of time grappled with how strong is my relationship, right? Mm-hmm. If it's become too dependent on being within the four walls of a building, yes. Right? Have I become too dependent on someone to teach me? Than to get into my word myself. And so, especially as we were confronted with, George Floyd and all of the things that happened during that period of time, I hated this idea of the way being a Christian was being thrown around as something negative, and those that were supposed to be representing what it meant completely being the antithesis of that. Yes. And I thought, this just can't be. God's word was actually designed to work. Mm-hmm. It contains all the wisdom we need for life. Yes. And there's just this disconnect. And so I've always had a passion for that. I'm a, former Bible study teacher, Sunday school teacher. And so that's something I've always loved to do. But I wanted to be able to reach people in a more transparent way, in a real way that wasn't just teaching, through a traditional Bible study or a book. I wanted to be able to talk about real issues and not come from this place of Christian superiority. I wanted to be open about the fact that, yes, I'm a believer, but I get things wrong just as much as I get it right. And I'm not going to pretend like I don't, because I think that's what can be off-putting, right? Yes. This kind of religiosity. And so that's what Rooted is about. Real people, real issues, real growth. It's about getting in the word of God, keeping it real plain and simple, teaching principles for life that work, and building up a pattern of application is to make sure that we understand what God is saying, that we're interpreting it properly so that we can apply it right. Because if we don't understand it right, we can't apply it right. And then it becomes ineffective. There's nothing wrong with the word. There's just a disconnect. And so that is my passion, to get people to fall in love with God's word again, to fall in love with their relationship with God, and to even welcome unbelievers to see this is what Christianity looks like. It's messy, it's imperfect, but it's beautiful. And, I want you to be a part of it. So if you're interested in listening to Rooted, you can find me on Apple Podcasts. We're on Anchor and Spotify at Shinia Lambert. And I'll have the links on my social media if anyone wants to click on there. But it's fairly new, but I love it. I love pouring out, and I love the response I'm getting. So
I am going to drop the link
awesome
in the chat to root it. So those of you that want to, oh, that is a huge link. Won't be that link. Give me just a minute. I think that was going to come out like that. While I'm trying to sort out getting the right link so that I can post it here in the chat. Talk to us a bit more about your upcoming book project and your passion for mompreneurs.
Yes. So me and my business partner, the Lord brought us together to start a firm, but it became very clear early on that he didn't bring us together just to do the law firm. He brought us together because our visions and purposes for life aligned. And so at the time that, we fasted and prayed about whether to partner together, there was things we knew about each other, but there were things we didn't know too. We didn't know that we both had a desire to be speakers and writers and to expand and to own additional businesses and things like that. So in coming to know each other and growing, we realized not only did we both want to write a book, but we wanted to write a book about biblical principles for forming a business, but specifically for mompreneurs. Now, we're both mothers, and she has the additional honor of being a wife. And we all know, again, women of color, business owners, and then adding on being mothers and wives. There's just additional challenges that we face. And so we wanted to make sure that we had a resource out there that's spiritual, but practical. So you're going to get our experiences. You're going to get us sharing our faith. And again, us being very transparent about what we wish we would have done differently, what we would do again, and what we would just, no. But it's also going to be paired with practical legal resources. So you're not just going to get kind of the fluff, fuzzy feeling. You're also going to get, if I want to start a nonprofit, these are the steps that I take. What information do I need to file for my tax exempt status? These are the steps that I take. So each chapter is going to give you motivation. It's going to give you clarity about what it is that you're wanting to do, and then a practical step to take to accomplish your goals. Because what is the point of giving information if I can't push you down the road? Right. So that's kind of where that stems from. So we'll be launching that new business soon, new logo and name and everything to come. And then we hope for this book to be published at the end of the year prior to the holidays, so everyone can pick up a copy and start that new business.
That sounds like that's going to be the best Christmas present ever.
I think so.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been the ladies group that I have. We've been going through an amazing devotional by a wonderful sister that I met on the LinkedIn platform. Is Shinia Lambert. It's daily devotional for entrepreneurs, and it's got some powerful tips and tools. And I think that the types of books like the daily devotional that Shinia wrote and the book that you guys are writing, I absolutely need it. And it's one of the reasons that I named my show The Toolbox. Sometimes we have all of these tools. Google is free. We got the SBA. We can walk in. We have so many resources, Chamber of Commerce, and you could just get really overwhelmed and not knowing where to start or how to use the resources. But when you have guides like these, not only are you telling me a list of resources, but you're showing me how to really use the tool.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
That's a game changer.
It is.
That's absolutely a game changer. And I don't know if it's already been written before. I just know a book like that isn't in my personal library.
Right.
I can't wait to get it. I have books that are on many different things, but not one that is written from a faith-based Christian perspective, targeting women with not just, do this and do that, but specifically biblically based principles of building my business from a legal perspective, God's way. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yes, and we really tried to incorporate some of everything in there. Also, letting moms know it's okay if your life looks different than the mom business owner beside you, right? That comparison trap. Let's be okay with saying I need help. So we really tried to address everything that we experienced for ourselves, and we believe it's going to be a resource that isn't just going to be a one and done and put it on your shelf, but something that you'll reach for continually.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is amazing. I can't wait to can't wait to get my hands on that one and take and read it with the ladies in my Monday night Bible study group. This is going to be great. I mean, even for my own implementation. So, I mean, ladies, I can't wait to share it. But let me just have my one moment here for my own self, right? Because you said something there that was really key that I say often, and I think should be said by every entrepreneur, every individual, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. What success looks like for me is not what success will look like for you. Mm-hmm. So don't get caught in that trap. Define it for yourself. Define what success means for you. Figure out the best route to take to get there, and focus on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Focus on your journey. So again, guys, this is been a great conversation. I see a few people are just tuning in, and we're getting ready to wrap up. But thank you all for tuning in. Listen, get the replay. You don't want to miss the replay. There have been some amazing tools and success nuggets that have been dropped throughout this 30-minute broadcast. Look in the comment section here and get the link. It's the Apple Podcast link to Rooted. You don't want to miss that amazing podcast. And it's give us again. Rooted and the purpose behind Rooted.
So Rooted is a podcast, real people, real issues, real growth that is geared towards sharing God's word in a transparent way that leads to transformed lives.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. You said being a believer isn't pristine. It's messy. Life is messy. Life happens. But when we're rooted in his word, and his word is residing on the inside of us out of John 15. If we're connected to the vine, we have the resources that we need in order to live a successful life.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. Every aspect of our life. Mm-hmm. Ms. Shinia, it has been so amazing having you on as a guest. Thank you so much. And I'm going to put my plug out there now. Please consider coming back for a part 2.
Absolutely. It's been awesome. Absolutely.
But before we do wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to leave, including your contact information, with the LaQuita's Toolbox audience?
Sure. So anyone who may be interested in, looking into legal services at Jackson Todd Lambert, our website is jtlattorneys.com. You can also call us at 254-833-8000, and we promise to get back to you within 24 hours. If you're interested in Rooted, then of course, please click on the link that Ms. Monley put in the chat. It can also be found on Anchor at Anchor FM under the same title name. And then if you're interested in just following me on social media and kind of seeing what we're up to, I'm at Shinia Lambert Rooted on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you again. Listen, this has been another amazing episode of LaQuita's Toolbox Live. Thank you to my amazing sponsors today at Covenant Press, the faith-based Christian and apparel and accessory shop. Find them at www.covenant-press.com. Also, thank you to the Headshot and Mimosas event leaders, coordinators. I Am King Entertainment, 3/3 Beauty, as well as Evolving Eve Services. Those are 3 local businesses right here in the Killeen, Texas area that will be putting on that amazing Headshot and Mimosas event on March 5th at the Killeen Civic and Conference Center. To learn more, go out to their social media pages, hit the Eventbrite link, and get registered for that event to get some amazing headshots or 30-second commercials. But again, thank you guys so much for joining me across Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and here on Roku, a lot of platforms. I'm out of breath. Hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons. Until next time, I'm your host, LaQuita Monley. You guys be blessed and have an amazing day. Take care. Bye.